Good afternoon. I said good afternoon, Brooklyn. That's what's up. My name is Wayne Barrow. Myself and my cousin Mark Pitts, man is big in life, and alongside Miss Wallace and Faith in death. I'm also the co-chairman of the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation, which was established by Miss Wallace in memory of her son, with the emphasis on educating and empowering our youth through books instead of guns. Today we're here through tireless efforts of not one man or woman, but many who've given their time and energy over the past 22 years to make this street name and dedication a reality. There are too many to name, they know who they are. We thank them and we thank you, the community and the fans, for the countless petitions, emails, phone calls, letters, and office visits to the city council's office over the years. Mama Wallace has a saying, leave it to time. We did just that. And we're here today because the time came that we were heard. And when I'd like to take this opportunity at this point, in this moment, to introduce you to the woman that set aside all personal and political views to truly hear us in our plight to push this street name and dedication through. The Honorable New York City Council Majority Leader, Ms. Lori Congo. Please give her a great round of applause.
When I came out, but as it was said, Biggie is crying right now, tears of joy, seeing all of us out here in the rain today. What a joyous occasion. What a historical occasion. Everybody that's from Brooklyn right now, make some noise because this is our day. My parents growing up had Malcolm and Martin. We had Biggie and Tupac, the most influential rappers and lyricists of our time, the greatest minds and greatest speakers of our time. It is undeniable that when you hear the story of Brooklyn, that we have a story that no other city in the world has. From Tokyo to Timbuktu, to Soweto to Kingston, every club all over the world is rocking out a Biggie song anywhere in this world. It is a story of triumph. Brooklyn, New York, we have had challenges. During the time when Biggie created masterpieces, this neighborhood was redlined. People didn't want to live here. People had moved out of the neighborhood. They had left us to die. But there were people that struggled, people that fought, and they made this the hottest place in the entire world. Now everybody in the world wants to come to Brooklyn. But the reason why this street code naming is important is because while everybody's coming to Brooklyn, New York, they want to erase the history. They want to put up new cafes and boutiques and to push us out of our community. That's why this sign is important today. So that the history of why this place is what it is told to our children and to our children's children. So that the struggle of Brooklyn continues to be told again and again and again. So that when new people come to our community, don't get it twisted. And don't forget, we made this borough what it is today. We created this borough. And Biggie Smalls created the soundtrack of inspiration that gave us the growth, the ability, the inspiration, the blueprint to create success in Brooklyn, New York. And it is that success story President Ken Thompson, yes! There is a success story that is here, and that is why everyone wants to come to Brooklyn, because we have created something that no one has ever seen in the entire world. And many people, we fought a long time to get to this place. This was a long time coming. And the reason why I chose to do this is because I wanted to make sure, one, that our history is told, but our young people, they need this. Not everybody is going to look up to Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and so many others who have also been slave owners. They're not all going to look up to those individuals. They need someone who has walked on these streets that can inspire them, that can give them a message. In 1994, when Biggie dropped Ready to Die, he did it on the heels of the Central Park 5. And that's a history that we talk about and that we recognize. There's a history in New York City of a failing school system of our young people that caused people like Biggie to say, that told people to say, teachers that didn't believe in me and said I would never amount to anything, considered a fool because I dropped out of high school. Recognizing at the same time that so many of our young people are stereotypes of a black male misunderstood, like our Central Park 5. So that's why today is so important. I want to recognize a few people that made today possible as well. I want to thank Miss Jenny, Leroy McCarthy, Ralph McDaniels, Julian Hill, so many people that came to our offices to make sure that today happened. But I want to pause for just 1 second to recognize Mrs. Wallace. What we have on stage right now is Brooklyn's black royalty. Let's be clear. But there are too many black mothers like Mrs. Wallace. Just yesterday or last week, many of the elected officials were at the trial for Eric Garner, fighting to make sure that Officer Pantaleo, at the very least, is fired from his position for the brutal attack and massacre of Eric Garner. But we saw too many mothers in the front row of that courtroom. We saw Amadou Diallo's mother. We saw Eric Garner's mother. We saw Anthony Baez's mother. So what I want to say, we have a long history, but we have a long way to go. And we have to make sure that there are no more black mothers grieving for their child like Mrs. Wallace. We have incredible work to do. And we should remember, as I leave out, as Biggie said, I've blown up like you thought I would. Call the crib, same number. It's all good. And I'll leave you with, you know very well who you are. Don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars. Thank you all so much, Brooklyn. You did this. You deserve this. We are winning. Remember your history. And remember to teach our children their history as well. Shout out to everybody that came from out of state, from out of the country, that are here from all over the world. I heard there's people from California, Pennsylvania, Europe, Africa. People came from everywhere. Brooklyn loves you. Thank you so very much. Somebody said I took the A train. Amen, right? This is what it's all about. So we have a lot of people that made today happen. And like I said, the story of Biggie Smalls has inspired so many great leaders. It is now my honor and my privilege to recognize our own success story, inspired by Biggie Smalls. Ladies and gentlemen, bring your hands together for the first African-American borough president, Eric Adams!
Thank you, Queen, and thank you, Mother. You know, I'm a mama's boy, so, you know, I know that love and that feeling. You know, this moment, and I'm so happy it's raining, because rain has a way of filtering out those who are not serious about the significance of the moment. And this moment, you know, right here, only message I have is where you are is not who you are. Where you are is not who you are. And Biggie came from the streets of Brooklyn and St. James Place when folks were leaving Brooklyn because of the fact we were waking up to gunshots and not alarm clocks. Brothers like Biggie remained. When I was arrested as a child, only to come back to this precinct and patrol and protect this precinct when Biggie was growing up here, I understood that where I was as a child being arrested was not who I was as a person, and coming back becoming a police officer in the community that I love. Who I was as a D student in school was not who I was as becoming the first black borough president of Brooklyn. So who you are is not where you are, as long as you believe in yourself and continue to reach for the stars. There's so many Biggie Smalls that are in every block, every neighborhood, every street in this borough, and we need to allow them to flourish and prosper and grow in the capacity that they know they ought to be. We cannot continue to let bullets carve highways of death and removing the Biggie Smalls of our lives every day in our community. Mother Small should not be coming and benchmarking our lives by the loss of our giants and our heroes. Dr. King died from a bullet. Malcolm died from a bullet. Medgar Evers died from a bullet. Biggie died from a bullet. The bullet that killed the others didn't look like us. The bullet that may have killed Biggie looked like us, and we must be ensured that we protect our Biggie Smalls and not allow our Biggie Smalls to die prematurely. That's what this moment is about. This street, the naming of this street is so significant and it's so powerful to be able to name a street after a giant of this capacity. And here's my message to those who are not from Brooklyn. There's only two types of Americans, those who live in Brooklyn and those who wish they could. Thank God for Biggie.
Leave it up to our borough president, Eric Adams. What a dynamic giant who is doing extraordinary things and will continue to do it, B.I.G. I want to bring up another dynamic sister who represents areas such as Brownsville, East New York. She is a proud mother, a proud colleague on the city council. She chairs the New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA, making sure that NYCHA is a decent, respectable, safe, and beautiful place for us to raise our families. And God, let's pray for her, because she needs all of the prayers and energy and power to continue to fight for our NYCHA residents, our community, and our people. I would like for you to bring your hands together for City Council member Alika Ambry Samuel.
Thank you so much, everyone. So I'm not even going to take up any of your time. I just want to lend my voice to say that I'm just honored to be here as a little chick coming out of the projects in Brownsville, now representing Brownsville, Ocean Hill, and parts of Bed-Stuy. I'm just honored to be here, and I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do in making sure that you keep us on our toes. And so we're going to continue to do what we have to do in the New York City Council to honor Biggie Small and the foundation. So thank you so much to the entire family. I love you all. Just representing NYCHA, representing Brownsville and Bed-Stuy, everybody. Thank you.
We just made a little history in Brooklyn most recently because we got out and we And I can't tell you how important it is for us to continue to remember to make sure that we vote. Because we came out, we have an incredible, extraordinary man that looks just like us, that comes from our community, that has been a fighter for our youth, that has fought to end the epidemic of gun violence in the city of New York. It is because of him on so many levels we have brought gun violence down to epic lows since 1950. He has done extraordinary work, graduate of Brooklyn Technical High School, Brooklyn's own. Let me bring up our first African-American male public advocate, Jamani Williams!
Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Brooklyn, Brooklyn, Brooklyn. Yeah, yeah. Yo, give it up to Majority Leader Mom, please. Lori Cumbo, we wouldn't be here without her. I'm trying to be cool, but I'm bugging out up here. I'm fanning out. I'm trying to act like I'm not, but Lil Caesar, Lil Kim is here. The queen herself, Miss Wallace. They're kids who are entrepreneurs. Biggie's kids who are entrepreneurs right now. This is crazy for me. I'm trying to fake the funk, but I'm wilding right now. Thank y'all for making me the 4th black elected official citywide ever in this city. I appreciate it. This is so important because for years people have been telling us who we should celebrate, who we should acknowledge. I am a hip-hop head. Hip-hop raised me. I'm proud of it. I reek of Brooklyn wherever I go, and there's nothing I can do about it. People don't understand. When you were flunking out of high school, when the police were coming after you, you could put them headphones on and hear Biggie Smalls speak and what that meant to you. We have a right to celebrate that, just like anybody else. We have a right to look up to our hip-hop heroes. And because of Lori and people like Leroy McCarthy and all the people, we are going to be able to do that today. That is phenomenal. He is a giant in the hip-hop world. He is a giant in this country, and no one can take that away. I'm gonna say a couple things. One is, from Biggie to Nipsey, let's make sure we're celebrating people when they're still here, because there are people that will need to lift up their music and lift up their craft. Lastly, Ms. Wallace, you have no idea what you meant to people who always fit the description. They had this thing about what hip-hop looked like and what it felt like, and you stepped out and you looked so regal, and you looked like a queen. You reminded me of my mom and so many of our mothers when you stepped out. I've never got to meet you to say thank you so much for that. I'm so proud to be in everybody's presence. We're celebrating Biggie, we're celebrating hip-hop, we're celebrating ourselves. Peace out, everybody.
I want to recognize we've also been joined by Jelani Mashariki of Black Vets for Social Justice. Give it up for him. As well as Londell McMillan, who's behind us as well, who has been an attorney for the family for quite some time. There's also another dedicated city council member representing Bedford-Stuyvesant who has done extraordinary work in the city council, particularly as chair of the housing committee. He has worked with the Biggie Smalls family for most of his professional career. I want to bring up, who needs no introduction, the tallest city council elected official in the entire world. I didn't just say it, Guinness World Record made it so. I want to bring up my friend, my colleague, Robert Cornigan Jr.
How y'all doing? So, for me, this is homecoming. So many of y'all don't know, 226 St. James Place 1R was my residence for many, many years. So, I lived below the Notorious B.I.G. and got to see C's in the hallway, and Kim in the hallway. Those are stories for later, though. But really today is about everything that Biggie has done for the entire world. You know, Ms. Wallace allowed me to be a part of this family. I'm gonna tell a quick story. When Big's first passing was on the news and it had happened in LA, and Ms. Wallace went out to LA, and all of us were here mourning, and she came back, and I got a knock on the door, and I was in there playing all Biggie's tunes, and I was, who said that big men don't cry? I was crying a little bit, and I opened the door, and it was Miss Wallace, and I couldn't understand, like, huh? I just saw you on TV, and you stopping by to say hello to me to make sure I'm all right. I never forgot how much that meant to me, and finding out whether or not I had a place to be in the processional for the funeral, and which car I was going to be in, and it was that kind of love and understanding for other folks. Even though it was critical time for her, she extended love for everybody else to make sure everybody else was all right. So I never forgot that. Like, my mom been gone for a long time, and I remember thinking to have a second mom would be awesome. And then I got to come to Jersey and Philly and Pennsylvania and spend time. Remember we went on tour down south? I got to do clubs. Miss Wallace saw that I loved her son and his music and made me the first president of the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation. And we came up with that adage, books instead of guns, and gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to libraries across the country to demonstrate her commitment to making sure that literacy in her son's absence was a priority. Y'all don't understand the strength it takes for somebody to lose someone, but to try to change the life and give back to so many more. So I want to just say that today, I love you, Miss Wallace. I love you, Miss Wallace. And for those of us who grew up in this neighborhood, we wish we had a crew like Big had, like C's and D. D-Rock. Well, I got some Rikers Island stories to tell about D-Rock, but I ain't gonna tell them today. Woo! Just so y'all know though, D-Rock held it down on the island. I was working there. And I'm just gonna tell one quick story. The first thing I did was make sure that I could get D down to the office to see if we could have a conversation about any needs he might have. And he said, Rob, I only want one thing, man. I want to go up north so I could do my time. And I was like, no, you don't want, I could get you some, how about if we move you around, you comfortable? He was like, man, I don't care about none of that, man. I'm a grown man, I want to go do my time. And I never forgot that, man. That meant a lot to me. To have a team of people around you who love you and who carry forward the legacy even while you're gone. And then when we renamed the park down the block, the basketball courts a couple of years ago, I got a chance to meet his prodigy and his legacy. And I knew that he had done so much. And then I got to see the store opening. Where's Jan? Not Miss Jenny, where's Jan? You not here? So I want to say today, I really never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Real talk. So back when I was sitting on the steps of 226 St. James and I had cornrows in my hand, had no direction. I never knew I was going to be a city council member. I just knew I wanted to make a change. And it was actually the loss of Big that made me have to step up to represent my community. I had no direction prior to that. Real talk. Anybody who knows me, when they found out I was a council member, they was like, ooh, that job must be real sketchy. But I actually turned my life around and began to think about life differently and the contributions I could make because of the contribution he made. Now, I wasn't a great rapper, but I had an education and people liked me. I had to turn that into a way to represent for my people, and I'm so glad that out of that loss, I was able to be created and birthed to be able to lead this community. So I want to thank you, Ms. Wallace. I want to thank the entire family. I want to thank Tiana. I want to thank TJ. I want to thank Mark Pitts, Wayne Barrows. Oh, it's a lot of history on stage. Oh, I see you, Londell. Me and Londell was on the phone last night beefing. I love you though, brother. I love you. Listen, we can all make a difference. Leadership starts from where you are right now. You don't gotta be a council member, you don't gotta be a great rapper, you can make a difference right now from right where you are, and I'm asking you to do that on behalf of the Notorious B.I.G. Thank you.
I want to thank Councilmember Robert Cornegy because he did extraordinary work to make this happen. This is truly such an awesome day, and we as elected officials do our part, but it's really the family that has persevered and continued to work to keep the memory of Biggie Smalls alive, well, and thriving, and vibrating all throughout the world. And that's really what Biggie did. He created a vibration, an ingredient that everybody wants to come and they want to sample, they want to experience, they want to know what Brooklyn is. So I am now going to turn it back over to Wayne Barrows. I've had my moment. I had an opportunity to sit next to the Queen Bee, and that was really all that it was for me. Let me tell you, you don't even know. When you running for office and you a woman and you need to get out there and get to meet the people and win and disregard all the haters, all you need to do is play a little Lil' Kim, get you going in the morning, get your heels on, get your fly on, get your whole woman energy on, get your Queen Bee on, and you're going to go out there and you're going to stop anybody trying to run against you. So I thank you. I love her, and she doesn't even know how many elected officials she has influenced. So we thank you, Lil' Kim, for the energy and the vibration that you've given all of us women out here who trying to do the right thing, working hard every day. People don't often recognize what we do, but we are the thing that makes the whole thing happen. So I'm going to turn it back over to Wayne. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. This has been the biggest blessing that Brooklyn has seen in a long time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm loving the energy. How y'all feeling? Y'all in the rain. We understand that. We appreciate y'all being out here. But that's just Biggie crying on us. He's happy as hell that we're standing on this street recognizing him. Thank you. The last time I stood in front of a microphone in honor of Big, it was at his homegoing service. At that time, I made a commitment to do everything in my power to protect and honor his legacy, as well as his mother and his children, Tiana and CJ. It's been a long journey since that moment, but it wasn't one I walked alone. And I'd like to take this brief moment to acknowledge and thank some key people. Sean Puffy Combs and the entire Bad Boy Sean Combs Entertainment staff, Mark Pitts and the entire Bystorm Entertainment staff, Lance Rivera and the entire Undies Entertainment staff, D-Rock, Lil' Kim, Lil' C's, Gutter, Nino, the entire Junior Mafia clique, Jay-Z, Julian Petty, Chris Jones, Rick Barlow, Tom Bennett, and Elliot Osagi. Without these individuals, the last 22 years of this legacy would not be what it is. I appreciate everything that every one of these individuals have implemented into making this happen and pushing forward to assure that his kids were able to do the things that they're actually doing today. So now I want to introduce y'all to some of the family. The first person I want to bring to this microphone don't really need no introduction. He is an introduction in itself, and that is my man, Mr. C. DJ Mr. C. He was the catalyst from 50 grand to Mr. C to Sean Combs to give you Biggie. So I want to thank you, my brother, for that moment that you shared in that office. And I want to bring you to this mic so you can tell these people why and how you love that man so much.
What's good? What's good? I ain't gonna take too much time. I want to thank Wayne Barrow and Miss Wallace, Mark Pitts for letting me come up here and say a few words. If you know the story of B.I.G, you know, most of you probably do know the story that I was the person that discovered B.I.G, but you know, there's people besides me that was involved in Biggie's career. I want to acknowledge Biggie's first DJ from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn that gave me Big's demo tape. His name is 50 Grand. Y'all make some noise for 50 Grand. I get a lot of credit for discovering B.I.G, but if it wasn't for 50 Grand bringing me that Biggie tape, it would have never happened. So thank you, 50 Grand. Appreciate you. I'm gonna run through some names of people that really played a real pivotal role in B.I.G's career. Shout out to Faith Evans. Actually, today is Faith Evans' birthday, so y'all make some noise for Faith Evans. When I was shopping Biggie's demo, I had 3 record companies that was fighting, that was trying to get Biggie's demo, but it was one man who used to be a dancer, and he just kept staying on me, and his name is Puff Daddy Combs. Y'all make some noise for my boy Diddy, man, because nobody could have took Biggie's career the way Diddy took it. Once again, make some noise for Diddy, man. I also want to, you know, as a DJ, I want to acknowledge the 3 DJs that DJ for Biggie during his career. Salute to DJ Enough from Hot 97, he's over there somewhere. Salute to Clark Kent, and salute to the late great DJ Big Cap, if y'all know about Big Cap. And also I want to salute Jan and Ja. I think Ja's here, but you know, I just want to salute them. There's so many people that's involved in B.I.G's career, and everybody on this stage played a role in keeping Big's memory alive, or whatever the case is. So it's just an honor to be here. This is a great day for Brooklyn. This is a great day for hip hop. B.I.G being the first rapper to have his street named after him in Brooklyn. Give that a round of applause, please. Actually, today you got 2 of the greatest rappers of all time being acknowledged today. You got B.I.G today, and you got Big Daddy Kane being honored at the steps of City Hall. And that's where Biggie come from. He's an offspring of Big Daddy Kane. So I just want to acknowledge that. But this is a great day for hip hop, a great day for Brooklyn, a great day for Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So I thank y'all for coming out. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Biggie had a crew, but that crew was family. They did everything together. I mean everything. The love that was shared between them is felt to this day, 22 years of his passing, in a way that's unimaginable. I want to take this moment right now to bring Little Kim, D-Rock, Lil C's, and Junior Mafia to this microphone to have a few words to acknowledge their brother.
We did it, Brooklyn! I love you. I always knew this day was gonna come. I have to tell you that. Like, I used to dream about a street being named after Brooklyn, after Biggie, because it was only right. It only felt good. And to me, everyone from Brooklyn represents him with so much love and passion that, to me, this is Brooklyn. This block it belongs to Biggie. And he always had a vision, and I feel like today was a part of his vision. This makes me so happy that something like this can happen today, because like Lori said earlier, they've been trying to erase the legacy, the history. They can't do it. As long as I'm here, do it. I vow to always keep his legacy and keep Biggie's name alive. I don't care to the day that I die. I will always keep his name alive. And when I see Mama Wallace, when I see Tiana, when I see CJ, it just makes me smile and it makes me feel like his spirit always lives on. And people, little C's, my little brother, Rock, D-Rock, Gunna, Banger, the whole mafia, we was the ones shooting in the gym with Big. All right? We rode hard no matter what it was, and we went through our stuff, but the one thing is Biggie always keeps us together. And we always do it for Biggie. It's always for the love of Biggie. And spread love is the Brooklyn way. Rock, I know you don't want to speak, but no, listen. Rock just recently came up with a slogan that I love. And I know you don't want to speak, but Biggie's album, his first album was Ready to Die, right? Well, Rock came up with this slogan called Ready to Live. And I love that. I love that. It's time to start living. It's time to live out Biggie's dreams. It's time to live. And let me tell you something. God is the reason why we are here in the rain. God is allowing this to happen because the one thing that Biggie always brought was love, and he respected everybody, and he just really wanted, just to make sure his family was straight. So I just want to say thank y'all for coming out. Again, like I said, as long as I'm here, I will keep his legacy alive. And Siege, you gotta say something.
Yo, Brooklyn, what's up, y'all? I ain't even gotta tell y'all how special this day is. I'm sure all y'all people that's from the area, who's not from here, I'm sure y'all saw us with that Biggie sign for so many years trying to make this happen and represent and make it possible. And now today it's finally happening, thanks to everybody that helped contribute to making that sign reality right now, you know what I'm saying? And we come from this block. I grew up here, grew up on the next block, so y'all know what this means to us, to have B.I. name on this block. All this stuff we've been through and went through in this area right here, this is the way we're supposed to salute and honor B.I.G. Salute to his mother, Miss Wallace, his kids. Y'all know Junior Mafia, y'all know we ride it down for B.I. to this day. And we've been really trying hard to really get this block into his name, and it's finally happening. And I just want to say, man, I'm happy for it, and we're going to keep representing for B.I. And that rain coming down, because like they said, B.I. is smiling on us right now. So spread love the Brooklyn way. We love y'all. Thank y'all for always supporting that Mafia for life. Yeah.
All right, so 22 years passed since my vow that I spoke to y'all about earlier at that funeral. And both Tiana and CJ have matured into two unique, dynamic individuals. They're divine. I love them. They become entrepreneurs in their own right. Tiana's not feeling well, so I think that she has to leave, unfortunately. But I'm very proud to have witnessed them grow up and come into their own. Their mothers, Faith Evans and Jan Jenkins, did a great job keeping them focused and on track. And with the support of their dads, Todd Russar and Jahi Williams, these two individuals have been able to come who they are. So now I have the great honor and privilege to introduce to you CJ, to talk to you about his dad.
Man, this is dope. amazing, man. I can't really remember seeing this many people out here, obviously, since I was filming Notorious. A lot of y'all probably remember that, but right here on this block, we filmed Notorious. That was me playing him as a little kid, so this is beautiful, man. And I really can't even put it into words, honestly, but you know, I really always just think about what my parents always told me as a little kid, you know, and it's that I have a responsibility. My sister and I both, we have a responsibility to keep this legacy alive. So obviously I want to echo everything Councilwoman and Council, yeah, both of y'all, everything that they said. I can't really explain this feeling, obviously, so much emotion, but this is beautiful, man. I'm just so happy to see this. The rain, all of it is perfect. It's perfect, man. It's crazy. I love y'all, man. This is just for Brooklyn at the end of the day. This is for Brooklyn and for hip hop. All right, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you, CJ. Just eloquent ass. Love you, boy. I love you. So, strong, intelligent, fearless, feisty, honest, brutally honest, distinguished, and regal come to mind when I think about Miss Voletta Wallace. Her undying devotion of her son and desire to build his legacy for her grandchildren brought us all here today. It's my honor to bring her to the podium to share a few words. Please give Miss Voletta Wallace a very warm welcome.
And I'm so proud of you. I saw someone there with the water coming down her hair, and this is what I call love. This weekend, I was here for my 3-day convention at Flatbush Avenue. You all know I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. The title of the 3-day talk was Love Never Fails. This is it. I remember 22 years ago, I came around that corner. It was a sad day. And when I saw the crowds, tears came to my eyes. And I said to my friend, my son was well loved. This is the second time I came around here. And when I'm sitting there and I saw you, there's another kind of tears. But it's happy tears. Because I look at you, I don't know if I would come out here and stand there in the rain to say, Biggie, I love you. And I want to say today, and I hope I don't get emotional, I want to say thank you for standing up there in the rain to see a sign unveiled. That is love. Do you hear me? I really want to thank a lot of people. Wayne, Laurie did a lot. Carnegie did a lot. But let me tell you something. Laurie Combo's office and her people inside, Wayne Barrow, the late Ken Thompson, you may not know, his wife, LaShawn Thompson, Rocky Woody, the Woody family there, Barclay Center, Landell McMillan, Virginia Kennedy. She doesn't want me to say Virginia Kennedy, she wants me to say Miss Jenny. Yes, Miss Jenny. They pushed this sign, and yes, a young man by the name of Mr. McCarty. I've never met him, but yes, he worked hard at this. He worked hard. And I also want to thank him. But you know what? I have to be a little selfish right now. If Miss Wallace did not say yes, that sign would not go up. I'm telling you.